guys! Alright, I'm just going to do a video here to tell you what my doctor told me. So yesterday I had to see my doctor because unfortunately I'm having an allergic reaction to something. I'm not sure what, but I've got like this rash. You maybe can't see it so well here, but it's on my torso and you know, it's itchy, annoying, all that wonderful, gross stuff. So if anyone knows a natural remedy for like breaking out in hives or something like that, please let me know. I used to, years ago when I discovered I was allergic to shellfish, I was working at a place that served shellfish and I would break out in hives and stuff. And on occasion, if I put on like a lotion that doesn't agree with me, I have a reaction. But I'm not sure what caused this. I haven't changed anything. Anyway, TMI, but if you have information on how to help me, let me know. So really, it's not, this is not a video about what's wrong with me, it's about what my doctor told me when I was leaving his office. So he prescribed, some antihistamines to deal with this. But as I was leaving, I was getting up, my bag was on my chair, because I wish I had my bag in my hand because I would have started recording audio on my phone. Because he said, I'm going to tell you something that most doctors won't tell you. He said, most doctors won't tell you that what you put in your mouth is more important than anything else. And I said, okay, and of course I already know this, and I'm vegan, I follow all the major plant-based nutritionist doctors, and I said, why don't doctors tell you this stuff? And he said, because they don't know. He said, we just have so much to study in medical school. He said, there's no time to study nutrition. I think he said he actually got like no nutrition study. And I've heard this, that the average is between 0 and 4 hours for your entire years of studying medicine that you get of nutrition study. He said nowadays people probably get about an hour of nutrition study. He said even dietitians don't get proper education in nutrition. So this is a big, big statement from my doctor. I saw this doctor go from being, I guess I would call more carnist and more focused on prescribing stuff. And sadly, this is the same doctor my dad had, and he completely missed that my dad had colon cancer. I can't get into that because that just burns me so much. But he has evolved now, and like I think he forgets that I'm vegan, and we had a conversation maybe 2 years ago, and he suggested me looking up Dr. McDougall and the starch-based solution, and I said, I've heard of McDougall, and I really love what he has to say. So anyway, he said doctors and even dietitians, okay, people who, this explains why so many of, if you see a registered dietitian, they might still tell you, oh, have meat, have chicken, have pork, have fish, oh, this is so healthy. This explains why. Because they're not getting the proper education or the truth that we know. If you're vegan and you know this already, it's squashed. No one wants you to know this. The meat and dairy and egg industries don't want you to know this for sure. So anyway, so that was a pretty bold statement from him. And, I went on to tell him that I had watched a doctor on YouTube who said that food is our biggest addiction. And he said, oh my God, yes. And he said, you know why? He said, because we can take absolute crap. The food industry can take crap. You add a bit of sugar, you add enough salt and some spices, and we crave it. He said, evolutionary-wise, we never got enough salt or sugar, so our brains light up. We have this effect, this dopamine drug-inducing effect when we taste these salty, sweet foods. They make us want more. He gave the example of hot dogs and how the meat used in hot dogs would be rejected by vultures. He said bacteria does not even grow on hot dogs. There's like nothing of value there. Yet you put enough salt, enough spices, enough sugar, and he says you don't want one, you want more than one. And we're putting this crap into our bodies, and that's giving us absolutely no nutrition. And he went on to say that he does not blame people for this food addiction. It's the food industries, because they know exactly how to keep us addicted to crappy foods that keep us on medications. And And I said something like, it's really sad that if you try to promote a healthier way of living, people don't even believe you because they think, well, why would this food be offered? And he said, yeah, and you go to the grocery store and it gives you the heart healthy check on there. He said, just because there's a heart healthy check mark on something doesn't actually make it decent. And he went on to say that I tell people, don't look at labels. Don't go into the grocery store and, oh, this has a heart healthy check. He said, real food doesn't have labels. So he advises people to just go into the grocery store and skirt the outer edges, go to the produce section and get your whole natural foods. He said cucumbers don't have a label, tomatoes don't have a label, real foods don't have a label. He did say that, we should be, he mentioned, he said, you're seeing a lot of major stars now who are able to, who go vegan. He said, like Bill Clinton, Brad Pitt, and he said, they can afford it, and they can afford like the best chefs to make vegan taste good, which he said, you and I can't necessarily afford that or figure that out, which I didn't correct him and say, I'm making lots of amazing vegan foods because I know it is the food that's going to get people to realize if you can cut out the animal products and go vegan and still have the taste you crave. That's a great thing. Now, it doesn't mean that's an optimal vegan diet, but we've got to start somewhere, because he talked about cholesterol, or I think I mentioned to him, someone in my family right now has higher cholesterol, and, do you think the doctor is saying, hey, maybe you should be cutting out these animal products? No. And when I say to this person, probably adopting a plant-based diet to cut out the added cholesterol is the best thing to do, I'm getting hit with resistance because, well, who am I? I'm not a doctor. And her doctor is not telling her the proper information the way my doctor is telling me. So my doctor went on to point out that if there's one book he would recommend that I read now, it's Dr. Greger's How Not to Die. And I said, oh yeah, I've heard of the book, I haven't gotten it yet. And I didn't get to tell him that I saw Dr. Greger at VegFest last year. It's a video I have to upload, guys, I've been so busy. But he told me that that's an amazing book. It basically outlines, the first part tells you like the diseases we die of. The second part tells you how not to die of those diseases. And he said the third part he insisted on, even though the publishers did not want it because it was so extensive. All of his facts, all of his studies where he gets his information to back up the data that says we need to be eating plant-based, whole foods diets for optimal health. So definitely plan to get that book. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Dr. Greger, and my doctor also mentioned nutritionfacts.org, and that he just loves that Dr. Greger has everything backed up with sound science. So it's amazing. People try to tell you, oh, you're wrong. Oh, we can be healthy eating this. And yeah, if you eat a little bit of meat or dairy or chicken, no one's saying you can't be healthy, but you can also be fully healthy on a plant-based diet and optimally healthy on a plant-based diet. So my doctor is not really, I guess he's not vegan, he's plant-based, he's about nutrition, and as he said, food is an addiction. And he pointed out that, if he's somewhere and there's an amazing, he mentioned a Greek restaurant in this case. His daughter moved into a new place, there was a Greek restaurant, he went out with his daughter and he indulged. He said, if you're going to go Greek, you may as well have the lamb, which of course I inwardly cringed. I do not believe in eating baby animals or any animals, but fine. He said he had a Greek salad, he had the lamb, he said it was like home cooking, it was delicious, and he said, do I feel guilty that I had that? He said, no, because for the rest of the week, I eat plant-based. So yeah, he's eating like maybe one meal of meat a week, which he said, he thinks people should do. If you're eating meat, just have like one meat meal a week, and the rest of the week have plant-based, but it's so hard for people to do because food is an addiction, and we have been given and sold all these foods that are crappy for us, and we love them. So he clearly believes that we should be eating more plants. He said he's so adamant about it, he tells everybody this, but his daughter, and now this is funny because he's a doctor, and his daughter doesn't fully, she's not fully on board. You think that she'd say, oh, this is my dad, he's a doctor, I trust him, but she's like, oh, no, society has told us this, which of course is the huge problem. We've all been brainwashed to believe that these foods that are promoted by the meat, dairy, egg industry are healthy because it lines their pockets, and, we know better. And what else did he say? Gosh, let me just see, because I tried to write down some of this stuff. I did say, just real food doesn't have a label. I can't fully remember everything. He had a lot to say. I really wish I had my recorder going on my phone, but he's absolutely a proponent now of eating a whole food plant-based diet. And that's what he said. He said, you know, I recommend a whole foods plant-based diet. You know, vegan diet is great. You know, obviously you're having a lot of plants, but you know, whole food plant-based. So for me, with this allergic reaction I'm having, I'm going to try over the next few weeks to see if I can eat even mostly raw, and how that affects me and my immune system, whatever is happening. I want to just, like, you know, give myself a boost. I noticed, I was going to talk to you guys about this before, like I have a low iron trait, and before I was vegan, I mean, it doesn't matter what I was eating, I had low iron, but when I went vegan and I was having a green smoothie every day for about a year, I went to the doctor, my iron was higher than it had ever been. And I've kind of fallen off having a green smoothie every morning. It kind of gets boring and tedious. So my iron went a bit lower again. I'm trying there's a video I'm going to do about this, but there's an amazing supplement made with, gosh, I'm going to do the video. That's coming. But anyway, I'm trying natural stuff, and I'm going to go back and have my iron retested. Just natural. There's Garden of Life raw iron supplements, which aren't hard on your system, etc. But whole foods are where it's at. I noticed that my allergies, because I get seasonal allergies, you know, you might notice I always sound stuffed up. It's been worse, but since going vegan, they've been a lot better. If I can eliminate them entirely, I would be completely amazed. But eat real food, guys, and yes, you know, I certainly enjoy some other foods as well. I enjoy the vegan cupcakes and stuff. I don't have that all the time, but you know, I think if we're eating obviously a predominantly whole foods plant-based diet with a variety of fruits and veggies in the mix, it's good, and it's glad to see that at least some doctors are waking up to this reality. I remember one of the things that I wanted to say as well. My doctor's, he's East Indian, and he said that when he was growing up in India, they had meat once a week as a family, but mostly as flavoring. So they might have made a stew with lots of beans and root vegetables and added some chicken to that for the flavoring. Then he moved to England, and he said his dad would go to the butcher once a week, pick out a chicken, say, that's the one I want. The butcher would kill it, defeather it, all that stuff. He would take that home, his mom would cook it, and they would have the meat that day. Maybe there was leftovers for the week, but that was the one item of meat they bought for the week, and the rest of the week they ate plant-based. And he said they were so much healthier, and that even he has gotten less healthy since, you know, developing a bigger taste for meat and not eating a more plant-based diet. So he's so adamant in promoting a plant-based diet. You know, obviously, like I said, his own, you know, love of tasting meat is preventing him from going vegan. But, you know, while I want everyone to go vegan, if most people did what he did and had meat once a week, we could really make a major, major, major change in positivity for the animals. And hopefully, you know, when people go vegan and realize, hey, the food's great, I can eat this, I can live like this, they stop eating animal products. Now, I did mention the Dr. Gregor video. It was awesome when I saw him at VegFest. I've got so much to do, and I was going to do a video on my birthday vlog, which was the worst birthday ever. I had a funeral to go to, then a soccer game to tape, and then the next day I had a wedding to film, and I was exhausted. It was really not a great birthday. I was on the run most of the Saturday, but I did stop in and get falafel wrap from somewhere, which was vegan. You know, it had some fresh cucumbers, tomatoes, etc. on there. And then I had to have like a triple espresso coffee. I was so exhausted. But I was going to do a video on that just to show, you know, how to eat on the run as a vegan. We don't always have the best, you know, options at hand, and I had nothing with me, and I missed getting any food at the funeral because I had to run to go film a soccer game, and I was like out of my mind. But anyway, so I've been really busy the last like couple weeks, so I haven't put out all the videos that I want to put out. You know, I'm working on more. But anyway, you know, life is what it is, and we don't have to skimp on our values because we don't have convenience. And if I get that video together, I'll show you how I kind of survived my birthday as completely hectic, insane, and not optimal, but I still did it, and I still remained fully vegan. So that's all for now. Any questions, comments, or whatever, hit me up, and I wish I could remember more, but that's the gist of it. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching.